welcome everyone. Welcome to the Series 6 wrap-up of Doctor Who. Today we are going to talk about the entire Series 6 and all my thoughts, all my feelings, everything that I do think about the episode, questions that you have asked me, and the rating of the episodes, and everything else that we can talk about. I am so excited to get into this one. Before I say anything else about Series 6, I just have to say that this was the best series of Doctor Who that I have ever watched. That doesn't mean that I didn't like previous series as well. I did. For example, all the David series were just great. But in terms of storytelling, in terms of complicated storylines coming together and building up over episodes and being reminded of what was going on behind the scenes, like we saw a one-off episode and in the last 5 minutes we did get a reminder, don't forget about this big story that is still in the background. We're gonna surprise you with this one. You just have to wait a little more. The teasing worked phenomenal because I was hyped like every single episode about the story. And also, I have the feeling this was the very first series that really played with the idea of time like I was expecting a show like Doctor Who to do. Creating different timelines, creating complicated storylines with characters that we get to know but we don't know anything about them. We think it's just a random person, a random woman appearing in a Doctor Who episode. I mean, it was a two-parter and then she's gone. And we're like, yeah, well, just another character. Just to come back series later to tell the story about this woman, which is honestly one of the biggest and best storylines I have ever seen in the show. It was just phenomenal. We had a great cast. Oh my gosh, my trio. We had Amy and Rory and River traveling with the Doctor. River not all of the time, but she was there in enough episodes. And the complicated situation with Amy, Rory and River, and we watched this whole series of episodes just to find out that she is, like River is the daughter of Amy and Rory, who are younger than her. And just because all of the time traveling stuff that is possible in this series, she exists, she's older than her parents, and she knows more than her parents about the world that they live in. She's like, yeah, I have seen so much more than you did. I mean, you went traveling with Doctor for how long? I've been traveling for way longer than you did, and I know lots more. I do even know more about the TARDIS than the Doctor does from time to time. So she's like this super clever character that you just bring in and all of a sudden she's so important. This series was about her, about Amy and Rory, and about their relationship with each other. That's fantastic. I enjoyed every second of it. It was so clever written. I mean, I've read comments throughout the series. I am reading every single comment on YouTube and on Patreon as well. And I have read many comments of people really celebrating the series, but others that do not like the series at all or even hate it to begin with. Some because they don't like River, some because they don't like the storytelling, some because they don't like the story arc of all those characters. But for me, this was the best series ever that I have watched. And if we're talking about it already, let's jump into the character of the Doctor, Matt Smith. I know I had a rough start with him because I was and I still am very sad that David has left. He hasn't left because he's still there with me, but he's gone in the show. By the way, having him met on Good Omens, oh my gosh, the best thing that could have ever happened to me. And watching him in Good Omens, Oh my gosh, this actor is great. He became one of my most liked actors of the world. I didn't really have favorite actors other than like Johnny Depp, for example, but he's like not favorite anymore. It was more like a when I was younger thing. But now it's really like David. And maybe possibly even Matt, because he has such a unique way to portray the Doctor. First of all, he is the youngest Doctor ever. At least I was told he is. I guess he is. If people tell me, it has to be true. So he is the youngest one. But at the same time, I don't know if it are the clothes that he's wearing or really the acting. But he seems so not old. His soul seems old, although he's in a younger body. I really hope I'm expressing this right. You can feel the way he acts that he's been through things, just as you did with David. But at the same time, Matt looks so young. He looks like he's 20 years old. And at the same time, he looks like he's 70 in some scenes. I don't know how he does that, but he does a phenomenal job of portraying this character. And the quirkiness of the character, the way he talks, the fast pace this man can do while talking. He's like blah, 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 blah. I don't even know how he remembers all of the things he has to say in certain scenes. He's like spitting it out so fast, can't even comprehend, thinking about everything that he just said. He really is a great actor, and he is portraying those emotions that the Doctors feel so well. I have read comments back then, when I was still with the David Doctor, that he is a Doctor that portrays this alien being in a very human way. The way he died, he was like really feeling all the emotions. He didn't want to die. He fought with every single cell of his body against all of what was going to happen. He didn't want it. He cried. He made me cry so many times because he was all in the feels. And the people were saying in the comments that he portrays, for some people, he portrays this alien even too human-like sometimes, because he gives too much into the feelings. And Matt kind of does the same, at least for me, but in a more subtle way. For example, in the Christmas episode that we've seen last week, the thing with the crying, it was like crying a happy tear. I don't even know if the David Doctor ever did that. I don't even want to make a comment on now because I do not remember every single scene he was in. Even if I like him as an actor, I don't remember everything. But that was a very subtle, like, oh my gosh, I am having a human emotion kind of moment. When with the David Doctors was like human emotions all over the place. And also in sad scenes, Matt doesn't really cry. Even if he doesn't feel well and he like wants to cry, you can see it on Matt's face because of the expression that he makes. He has such a talkative face. Is that a thing even? I don't even know. His face is saying so much when he feels something. And the worst scenes for me, because I immediately start crying when they are on screen, are the ones where he is disappointed in himself because he did something wrong, when he notices that he's at fault for something and he gets the look on his face, this one look, this like guilt look. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to cuddle you. I just want to tell you the world's okay. I just want to hug you, rip you out of the screen and hug you for an hour so that you feel better in the end. But he doesn't cry. It's just this look. And I love that. I really love that. Also, in funny scenes, Matt is able to really create emotions in the viewer, at least in me. The scene where he was playing with those kids in the toy store, for example, the smile on his face, oh my gosh, he was so happy. And I immediately felt as happy as he was. He's just so enthusiastic and he catches the viewer with every single emotion that he wants to portray. He's such a great actor. So yes, I have grown to love him, and I love him very much as a doctor. I am very happy that I already had like 2 series with him. I think we do get like, at least as a prediction of mine, I do not want to know if it's right or wrong, but I think we will get a whole other series, like series 7, with the same actor. Maybe he'll go at the end of series 7, but I don't think he will leave us before we like end the Silent story arc. Or even the River story arc. I don't know, but she could be a recurring character even after he's gone. Because she's more with Amy and Rory than with the Doctor. So I don't know about that. But the Silence, I think that's his thing. Could be right, could be wrong. Don't tell me. Okay, those are my overall thoughts about the Doctor, the character River. Love her to bits. I love her. I love her story arc. I love everything about her. I have read comments that do not like her. I mean, people's opinions are different. I don't blame anyone for thinking like that, but me personally, I love her. I love the banter that goes on between her and the Doctor. I love the fun, I love the happiness, but I also love the sad scenes. I love the tragic stuff. She's a great actress. I love her. And the same goes for Amy and Rory. I have talked about this in my Series 5 wrap-up already. This is why I won't continue to talk about those 3 characters as much, but I love the trio so much. And I'm sad that we kind of lost them now. I mean, in the Christmas episode, he went to like visit Rory and Amy. River wasn't there. So I suppose maybe we will see them in future episodes, but they won't like travel with the Doctor, which is so sad because I loved them. I loved how Rory sacrificed his life so many times for each and every single character in the show. He sacrificed himself for Amy, for the Doctor, for the world in general, like for everyone. He's just the best guy ever. And he's such a great actor as well. So I wish I could like keep them, but I think they're kinda gone. On the other hand, I really love how for the very first time the Doctor leaves companions behind that are still alive and happier than they were before they met the Doctor, which is a rare thing because they are together, happily together, and they have a baby, or they have a daughter, it's not a baby anymore, and they have a house, they have a car, and they have all those adventures on their mind. They know about the world that's going on around them. And they have grown so much, both of them have grown so much over the time. So they are actually happier after having traveled with the Doctor than they did before. So that's really cool. Okay, this is a quick summary of everything that I wanted to say. I didn't want to talk about certain things already because I already know the questions that you were asking me, and I didn't want to talk about certain things before answering your questions, just so you know. Okay, I'd say let's get into the questions. As always, I have asked you on YouTube and on Patreon, this time without a video, but with a community comment. I really hope that everyone who wanted to leave a question for this episode had the opportunity to do so. because I was thinking about making another video, but then again I thought, oh, why not use the community tab? That's what it's there for, right? So I tried this one instead. Really hope no one missed that one. But just so you know, for the future upcoming series, I am going to use the community tab. I'm not going to make extra videos for that. So 4 to 5 episodes before the series ends, there is going to be a community tab with the question summary for you to ask. And the reason for why I'm already asking the questions like 4 to 5 episodes before the actual series ends is just the reason that on Patreon we're like 5 or even 6 episodes like in advance from YouTube. And I have already finished the series on Patreon when I'm asking the questions like on YouTube, just so you know. Also, viewers of mine that are there from the beginning or for a longer time already know that when I'm asking you to leave a question, you have the choice to put a hashtag it's okay in your comment, which means you do want me to mention your name. It's okay for me to mention your name when reading your question. Some people maybe do not like to be mentioned in a video by name. They just want to have the question answered. And then you just don't write the hashtag it's okay. I'm not gonna talk about who you are. If you want your name to be mentioned for a future series or wrap-ups, just leave the hashtag it's okay. Let's get to the first question. This is from a user that doesn't want his name to be mentioned, and the question is, what was your favorite 11th Doctor moment so far? Okay, first of all, I really had to think about this question for a long time, because first I was like thinking about every single episode that I have seen with this Doctor, and there wasn't a scene on my mind. Then I was revisiting IMDb, going through every single episode, and I hadn't a scene on my mind. And then it occurred to me that I really do not have a scene on my mind thinking about this Doctor. There is no special scene. However, I have different scenes that I really, really do love about him. And me not having a special scene doesn't mean that I do not love the Doctor, because I do. It just means that there is no certain scene that I love the most about him. But I do love every single episode when, like I described it earlier, when he's like in pain, he's feeling bad, he's feeling guilt and remorse, and you can see the look on his face, and you immediately start crying because you feel every single emotion that this man feels in that moment. And I love that. I love that he's able to portray something like that. I love how it catches me from being a happy person to being teary-eyed, bawling my eyes out even from one moment to the other, just because of this actor and what he's able to do. Those scenes I like in particular. And also the other scenes around when he's like very enthusiastic and he's just so happy. And you can see he's happy, you have to smile with him. It's just like every single emotion that he feels, he catches you through the screen. So there are many, many, many favorite scenes about this Doctor. And while thinking about my answer, there was a scene in my head that stood out to me. In the Panorica episode, on that stone in the middle of Stonehenge, and he gives this speech to all the aliens up in the air. That was one moment that I did remember about the Doctor. Not at first sight, but thinking about it a little more. That scene came to my mind and I'm like, yeah, that's really one of my favorite scenes with this Doctor. That's a great one. Thank you so much for entering this question. I hope I did answer it, even if I didn't like have the Matt moment, but very, very many little like Matt moments that I love to bits. The next question comes from Mark Cockram, and he says, "Hi Nicole, I love watching your reactions. They are a highlight of my week." First of all, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I'm always blushing when I read comments like this or I start tearing up because it's still, even though I'm doing this for over a year right now, I don't even know how many months exactly, it's still so special to me to think about other people really liking what I do. I'm putting a video online and people are telling me that they enjoyed watching it, that they like my reactions. It's just, I don't know. I love reading comments like this. Thank you so much for that. And I'm replying to those comments, always telling people thank you so much. And I always think, oh my gosh, I did this for like, I don't know how many times in that whole year, every time someone writes something like this. And sometimes I'm afraid that I'm like always writing the same reply to something like that. But what else could I write? I am thankful. So I really hope it's okay for me to give this feedback, like even if it's like kind of the same thing to say over and over again, but just so you know, I'm very thankful for something like that. So yeah, thanks, Mark. Okay, I didn't even get to your question yet. Do you have many friends who also like Doctor Who? And is it very popular in German? Keep up the good work. Hashtag it's okay. Well, my boyfriend knows Doctor Who. So that's a reason why I never talk to him about the show. Well, for one. The other reason is because if he starts talking about stuff, he can't really concentrate on not spoiling. He's just a person who talks and he's not thinking about it very much. So I forbid him to talk about Doctor Who to me because I'm like, I don't want to hear any spoilers. So yeah, he is one person that I do know who likes Doctor Who. Apart from that, actually, none of my friends have seen the series. None of them. I'm always like asking every single person that I get to know, like, do you know Doctor Who? And if so, please don't spoil me on anything because I don't want to know. But I'm always asking people anyways. And they're like, no, I don't really know Doctor Who. I've never seen it. So I can't really speak for the whole German society. If I do go to my channel and go to my analytics, I can see that plus minus 100 people from Germany are watching my content. So that means that at least they do know Doctor Who. But I can't really speak for Germany at all. The reason for that is also because I do not participate in the online Doctor Who world. I do not go to Twitter reading comments, to Facebook reading comments about Doctor Who. I'm not watching any YouTube videos, only those recommended by my Patreons. I do not get into this online world of Doctor Who yet, so that I could like tell anything. I mean, you could grasp like maybe if people are into it or not on the internet. But then again, I do not want to spoil myself, so I'm avoiding everything that's Doctor Who-y on the internet. Yeah, but like I said, the people that I do know, just one person out of all the people I know who knows Doctor Who or watches Doctor Who. They have heard of it, like most of them have heard of it, but they have not seen it. And I have never ever met like a German fan of the show. Never ever. All the people that I'm in contact with over the internet, other reactors, creators, are like English people. American, British English, there is no German person. Not really. I hope that's an okay answer for your question. Let's go on. And also, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. The next question is from a person that doesn't want his or her name to be mentioned. Do you have any interest in exploring the hundreds of Doctor Who books and audio dramas once you get caught up on the television series? Well, That's a question I really can't answer at the moment. I have no idea. I do know that there are audio dramas and there are books on Doctor Who, but I really can't tell what I'm going to explore. It might also be that, but it only might. This is not a promise, nothing, that when I'm finished with the New Who stuff and there is no new content, then I'm going to watch maybe some classic episodes instead of New Who, not as regular as the New Who ones, but sometimes maybe from time to time. I don't know yet. I don't want to make any promises. As for audiobooks and dramas though, or for audio dramas and books though, I can't really do a reaction of them. So I don't know. It depends on how I will think about the series once I'm finished. But not knowing how it will finish, it's impossible for me to make a prediction like at all. I'm sorry. I know this is not a satisfying answer, but I can't look into the future that far ahead because I will be finished with the episodes that are on air right now in 3 years or something like that. So I can't look that far into the future. I'm sorry. But I hope it's okay as an answer. I mean, and I don't know as an answer as well. Thank you so much, though, for asking me that question. The next one, also from a person that doesn't want his or her name to be spelled out or to be said. Can you confirm you will not be getting attached to this doctor and we do not have to go through the losing David type level of hurt and tissues? Rhetorical question. No need to answer this one. We're happy to wait and see. Spoilers. Well, I think I might have to spoil you. Well, first of all, I do want to answer because I read this question. I was losing it. It was so funny. I did not expect this level of humor reading the comments. That was really funny. Second of all, spoilers. I will be crying. I will be tearing up. I will be boiling my eyes out because that's just what I do. I do get attached to characters. And when I lose them, it feels like losing, I don't know. I don't want to compare it to anything regarding real life, but it feels bad. It feels really bad. And when I do watch anything, TV show, movie, anything that catches me, I am in this 100%. And I think many of you, I've gotten many comments that said that they do really like my enthusiasm watching the show. And also others were like, are you okay? Are you doing good after having watched the finale where I really bawled my eyes out? And they're like, we really care for you and we're really worried about you. Are you okay? And I'm like, this is so sweet. People asking me this question, but you do not really have to be worried about me. I do cry because I'm in it 100% while watching it. But most of the time, if you watch the review after the episode, you can already see how my brain is trying to process what I've seen and all the emotions and stuff. And after like 15 to 20 minutes already, you can see, most of the time, can see me getting better already, still in the reaction time before I turn the camera off. And the moment I turn the camera off, I always, after having watched a sad episode, I always try to do something that I love doing so I can like recharge my batteries and like get back to normal, into the normal world. So you don't have to be worried about me, but I will cry. Spoilers, I'm sorry. What would the doctor say? Humany woomany? That's just me. I am a crier and I will cry. Thank you so much though for your question. I was laughing a lot while reading it once, while reading it for the second time. It's just great. I love it. Okay, let's get to the next question. It comes from Art the Green Wolf, and here she writes #it's okay and has 3 questions. I'm gonna make the answer a little bit shorter because it's 3 questions. The first one is, where do Amy and Rory rank on your companions list compared to Rose, Martha and Donna? That's an easy answer. I place him on second place, right after Donna, because, and also, I would really love to, if it's allowed, to put them on the first place as well, because I love them equally as much. Donna and Rory and Amy, I love them equally as much. They're my favorite companion of all of them. And after those three, there are the others. There's like Rose and there is Martha. But Donna and Amy and Rory, I would love to put them on the first place as well. And if I had to decide, I'd put Donna first. For Wincy tiny bit, because Donna is like the way she made me laugh, the bantering with the doctor was even more intense. Just the scene with the window, the famous window scene, it's something that got stuck in my head. Like the question that I answered previously with, do you have a favorite scene for the doctor? I do have a favorite scene for Donna. And this is the one. This is it. If I think about Donna, I think about the window scene. Just, yeah, love her to bits and miss her. I was so glad I could like revisit her on the Eurovision Song Contest. It was really great that she was there. Okay, second question. Are there any stories so far from this run that have made it up to your top 5? This question was also very complicated to answer because I really have so many episodes that I do love to bits. And the more series that there are, the harder it gets. I love so many of them. And I had to pick 5, but I picked 6 because I just couldn't decide. And also, they are my top 5 and I will read them out one after the other. But to be honest, they're all in first place. I can't really decide which episode to put before which and after the other, and it's all complicated, wibbly wobbly, you know. So the following episodes are all on first place and they are 6. So Midnight episode, that was a great episode. That was just an Oscar-worthy episode, and that was one of the best episodes of David of all time. So yeah, Midnight episode, definitely there. Then another one that many of you won't agree with me, but I don't care because I love the episode to bits, is The Lodger. Love it. It was so funny from start to finish, and I love it. I love going back to it. I love laughing. I love the battering. I love every single bit about it. So yeah, it's there, even if many wouldn't agree. And I do know that they wouldn't, because I do know that many people don't like the episode. But it's my top 5, top 6. Well, yeah. Also, Partners in Crime. I just talked about the episode. I love it to bits. I love it to bits. Then, Human Nature and Family of Blood. This is one episode, okay? I know it's 2, but yeah, this 2-part is just one of my favorite 2-parters. I love it. And not only because of the psycho guy, but because of everything, the whole story, everything. Like, then the next one, School Reunion. I mean, hello? Anthony Stewart Head. Who doesn't love this episode? If he's a Buffy fan, you have to love this episode. Come on. And last but not least, because on the first place, like all the others, Love and Monsters. I know. Not everyone likes this episode, but I love it to bits. These are my top 6 episodes. Honestly, there are 7, but yeah, I can't decide. Out of all of the episodes that I just said, there's not one that I could take out of this list and still be happy. So this is it. This is the list. Question number 3. If you had to design what a TARDIS looks like inside, what would it look like? I loved this question. Thank you so much for asking it, because I really love it. Being creative is one of my most favorite things. So I would love the TARDIS to have the colors purple, blue, and pink. I know, but those are my favorite colors. So, but the pink just subtle on certain little things. Most of the colors should be purple and blue. This dark blue, like watery dark blue. Not watery water in real life, because most of the time it's just like you can't really see its color. But the way it's portrayed in certain paintings or stuff, the way you imagine water to look like if you see a painting of it. Dark bluish color. And maybe you can already see that I do love those colors if you take a look behind me, because those are exactly the colors that are behind me on the poster, like blue, purple, and pink. And I would want to have a glass floor with water on it, because that would like feel so calm if you are in the TARDIS and there's just water under you. Also, I would want it to be round, just like it is in the show, and have glass walls or windows where you can see the outside when you're flying. You don't see anything from the outside, just from the inside. You can see the TARDIS flying through the universe, and you can see the stars and the space outside. And now I have a little surprise for you, because thanks to the power of AI and thanks to me loving Midjourney, I love Midjourney. I'm on Midjourney 24/7 ever since it came out. So I kind of created my own TARDIS, and I would love to show you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what the TARDIS would look like if I could design it. This is it. And I love everything about it. Look at it. It has this glass floor with water under it. It has those windows. You can see the stars. You can see the space. It has this star light up there that just shines on you. Everything looks beautiful, purple and bluish, and little accents in pink. It's just beautiful. And I would love to travel in this TARDIS, to be honest. Oh my gosh, it just looks so beautiful. Just tell me in the comments down below what you think of this creation of the TARDIS. Would you love to travel in this TARDIS? And do you think this looks more beautiful than the one that we do have in the show? If Doctor Who was done by a woman, this would be the TARDIS. Just kidding. So yeah, I had much fun answering your questions, Arctic Greenwood. Thank you so much for giving them to me and giving me the opportunity to answer them. Okay, I'd say this is enough for the very first part of the questions. We are going to go into the second part right after the episode ranking of Series 6. Just a little something in between, and then we will go on continuing to answer your questions. Here we go. You already know this screen. Episodes that I didn't like that much doesn't mean I hate the episodes. It just means that there are episodes that I really love. I watch them and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to rewatch them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, editing them for YouTube is so easy because I love rewatching them. And then there are episodes where I'm like, oh my gosh, the editing of this episode for YouTube, I will have to put them in little pieces. I have to edit the episode 10 minutes today, 10 minutes tomorrow, 10 minutes the day after tomorrow, and so on until finished, because I can't like bear to watch them again. Or it could even mean that they are episodes that I watched and I'm like, well, I do not really need to rewatch them for a second time. It's just I've seen them, they were okay, and I can move on. And then there are episodes where I'm like, oh my gosh, I really have to rewatch this one day because I loved it. And those are the categories. Let's start with the very first, very surprising episode. Well, let's say this. People who know me by now, they know what episode is going to be there. And let me know in the comments down below if you could tell which episode the first one really is. The others aren't less predictable. This one is. So tell me in the comments down below. Just stop the video and think about it. Do you know which episode I didn't like the least out of all the episodes there? Let's see. Well, yay! It's the curse of the black spot. Also, the day I made this presentation, Amazon didn't really work very well, and the pictures were all like, I don't know, 640 pixels or something like that. It didn't really work, but I think they are so little on your screen that I don't know if you can tell that the picture isn't great. But just so you know, it's not my fault, it's Amazon's fault. The curse of the black spot, what can I say? Pirates. It's it. I hate pirates in general. I love Johnny Depp, but I couldn't even get through the very first movie of the Pirates of the Caribbean. I had to stop in the middle of it. Even if it was with Johnny Depp, I didn't care. I hate pirates. And if there are pirates in an episode, it's not going to be for me. It's not the episode's fault. It's just pirates. I don't know. I'm sorry. This one was predictable. Let's get to the next one. And this is The Doctor, the Window, and the Wardrobe. This is a Christmas episode that we have just seen last week. In the comments of my Patreon, the episode didn't air on YouTube yet. I do not know about the YouTube comments yet. But the Patreons were really divided. There were people saying that they do like the episode, and there were people saying that they don't like the episode. So I think you could be either. And I'm on the side of, I didn't really like it. Loved the first 10 minutes, loved the last 10 minutes, but in between the other 20 minutes weren't for me. And while editing it for YouTube, like this morning actually, I noticed why I didn't like the episode. I couldn't really grasp it while doing the review last week, but I thought about it, and I think it is because of the mix of genres that were put into the episode that didn't really like mix. They were not mixable. Like, you cannot make a story with a fairy tale background and putting sci-fi technical stuff in it. It just doesn't work. Just tell me one movie or one show that does this, the mix of sci-fi technology and fairy tale. There is no sci-fi technology in Harry Potter as far as I know, but I've only seen the first 4 movies, so please don't spoil me on them because I'm planning on doing a reaction in the future. But as far as I know, there is just this old stuff because it's a fairy tale. And in other fairy tales that I do know, or movies or anything like that, there is no sci-fi technology involved in all this. And it just it wasn't mixable. And that's what got to me. I didn't really like it. So yeah, I'm very, very sorry. It was a very Christmassy episode. Could have been so good if there weren't any spaceships, but instead of the tree men, there would have been fairies and witches and magicians and unicorns, something like that. I mean, there are different planets. Why do we not do something like that? Unicorn aliens. Why not? It's just that the tree people, what I didn't like about them was the fact that they didn't have emotions. They did have, don't get me wrong here, but they couldn't portray them themselves. They couldn't speak. Their faces couldn't like express emotions very well. So they had to rely on a human being to do that for them. And that transformation didn't really work out for me. I mean, it's a fairy tale forest, right? Why can't trees speak? Maybe it wasn't like working properly in terms of technology. Like, maybe they didn't have the CGI effects to do that. Maybe that was the reason. Maybe they didn't have the money to do those effects. But in terms of storytelling, let the trees talk. Or take another living being that can talk and express emotions, because in a fairy tale like world, you need expressions, you need emotions. That's what a fairy tale makes a fairy tale. In a movie, if you have a book, okay, it's a book. You can imagine the expressions and feelings in your mind. But if you have a movie or a TV show, you have to show emotions. I remember in Harry Potter, all the beings had feelings. They could laugh and talk and cry and everything. Even the animals. So, like, not all of them. but it was a living world, and the trees just didn't have that. They were just decoration. I don't want to sound mean, but it didn't fit into this world. Just didn't. I don't know. I don't want to be mean to this episode, but it wasn't for me. So yeah, let's continue. We have another episode, or shall I say 2 episodes, that I didn't like as much, and I think maybe some people are on my side with this one because they didn't like it as well, as at least what I have read in the YouTube comments. The Rebel Flesh and the Almost People. This 2-parter was strange. It felt too dark. It felt too mechanic. It felt too, I don't know. I like the part with the Doctor where we cloned the Doctor and we had another one. But that was the only thing. Well, the Rory storyline as well, but I didn't really get that when I was watching it. And to be honest, watching it for the second time, I didn't really care as much anymore. So that's just the 2-parter that I didn't like as much. I'm sorry for that. Well, that's the bad side of all of this. I am very, very sorry. But I do also have good news. Yay! Because all the other episodes that we had on this series, all of them, I really, really liked. All of them. They're all my favorite episodes. So yeah, this series has lots and lots of episodes that I really liked. From good news to bad news again, because I already know, the moment I show you the next episode, you will scream at the screen. You'll be like, what are you thinking putting this episode so far behind? What are you thinking, miss? And I am very sorry, but this is my, the ranking of the episodes. And I know you all love this episode. I really know that. And I liked it as well. I really did. But there were so many episodes that I liked, and I had to make a decision. I couldn't put them all on first place, so I had to decide which I liked more. So I put them all in an Excel sheet, and I just played around with them and kind of found a ranking system. And I'm sorry, but out of all the episodes that I really, really loved, The Doctor's Wife is in last place. I know. And I know what it means for the show. And I love that we had this episode because it was so important to understand the relationship between the TARDIS and the Doctor. At last, I know and I appreciate it so, so much. But the other episodes, in my eyes, were even better. I'm sorry. Yeah, but like I said, this episode was great. It was a great episode. It had so much, and seeing the TARDIS as a human being, as a woman, I told you already, it also helped me in terms of talking, because I always referred to the TARDIS as it, and sometimes I still do. But the more I talk about the episode, the more I think about the episode, I'm starting to catch myself doing that and correcting myself and being like, it's her, not it, it's her. Because of this episode, it really helped me with my English understanding. So just for that, it's a great episode, but also because we see her relationship with the Doctor. It's an episode that we needed, but we didn't know we need it. So thank God we got it. Off to the next one. And the next one is The God Complex. I really loved this episode for the fact that they made a whole LSD trip out of this episode. Because it's like, I mean, I don't know how LSD feels, never took it, but this must be what it feels like, because it was like a David Lynch kind of deal. And while doing the review for the episode, I was talking about how I hope for even more of this David Lynch stuff. And I didn't get it. I was a little bit disappointed. But re-editing it for YouTube, or editing it for YouTube, I feel like there was crazy stuff throughout the whole episode, like almost all the time. And there was enough crazy stuff in it for me to really like it. This scene was one of those things. Wow. It's just crazy. and seeing the characters being confronted with their biggest fear as well. I love that. I really, really did. I liked this episode so much. Off to the next one, which is closing time. And yeah, I know already that many of you didn't really like the episode, but I loved it. It had like the same charm like the Ledger episode, and it felt humorous, it felt fresh, it felt new. And I'm saying this not thinking about the Cybermen that were in there. This was a part that didn't feel new, but I loved the characters. I mean, I do love the Doctor, but the other character that was played by, what's his name? I forgot his name. You know who I mean? I just love them together. They have a great connection. They are so funny together. And I could watch another 10 episodes with them because it's so refreshing to see them. And also the ending of the episode when he gets like the cowboy hat and all that. And you're like, oh my gosh, this was a funny episode. And now off to the bad stuff. Next episode, the Doctor's going to die. Everything's over. Like the foreshadowing, it was just great. So this is another favorite episode of mine, but we are still on place number 7. So here is number 6. A Good Man Goes to War. Also, this is my favorite picture of Rory. Like, of all the scenes where he was in, like, this is it. This is the best picture. And I really liked the episode. It was a big war kind of deal, but I liked it because it had several elements in there that were so interesting. And it's an episode where many things come to light and we get to know stuff, and everything moves fast at a pace where you're like, oh my gosh, can we please stop for a second? I need to like really think about what I have just seen. We can continue with all the stuff that we want to talk about. I just have to take a second here and think for a moment. And it was an episode where I wished that I was one of those YouTubers that could like stop in the middle of the reaction and just take a few seconds to think about everything that I've seen. It happens many times on Doctor Who, to be honest, because the episodes are so fast. Doctor talks so fast, and in episodes where the storytelling is very difficult to understand, or you have to first process one thing to understand the next one, it's really unfortunate that I can't really stop the episode in between, because I am one of those YouTubers that can't share or won't share original footage on Patreon. Others do that. They share like the whole footage on Patreon, and they can like stop in between because no one has to run his own copy while running the reaction, so you can just stop. It doesn't even matter. But knowing other YouTubers or other creators who really got into trouble with law doing that, putting up whole episodes, and after seasons of publishing those episodes, the original creators got to know that they did that, and then things went really bad, involving lots and lots of money to pay for them and legal trouble. I just don't want to do that, so I'm taking the alternate route of not showing any footage, like at all. There is no sound, and there is just a little footage at the start of the episode that everybody can like put their own footage and align it with mine. So yeah, I do not have the opportunity to stop in between, unfortunately. But with this episode, I really wish that I could, because it was a fast one. Things happened so fast. And I loved every single bit of it. Okay, here is the next one. The Girl Who Waited. Yeah, that was an interesting episode. Something new, something special. Seeing the actress who plays Amy doing both roles at the same time, the younger Amy and the older Amy, it was so fascinating to watch her change. And she portrayed that so well. Because not only because of the makeup, she looked older, but because of how she portrayed the character, she felt older as well. And you could really feel the disappointment inside her, that her heart at one point just broke and she didn't trust the doctor anymore. She didn't want to like have to do anything with him anymore. And she just wanted to be alone, although she didn't really want to be alone, but she thought she wanted to be alone just to not get disappointed anymore by anyone. It was heartbreaking to watch, and the last moments before they flew away with the TARDIS, oh my gosh, when she was standing in front of the TARDIS talking to Rory and crying, and she's like, don't let me in. If you love me, you do not let me into the TARDIS, please. And everything she wanted to say was, please, I want to be with you, because she had all her memories of the old Amy. She had all this love for Rory, for the doctor, for everyone, and everything she wanted was having her old life back. But she sacrificed herself for the younger Amy. It was so tragic. It cost me so much energy watching it for the first time. I just felt so drained when it was over. I cried so much, I felt so much during it. So that I was like really, really tired after having watched that one. But happy tired in terms of, wow, I have just seen something great. This show, what it can do to you, and we're only on place number 5. And now let's get to number 4. Yeah, I know, I can already hear your voices shouting at the screen again, and you're like, what, are you serious? I didn't like that episode, because I have not only edited the Christmas episode this morning, but I have also replied to the comments of Night Terrors today on YouTube. And many people didn't like the episode. There were people who said, I wish I did like the episode. I didn't, but I wish I did, which is kind of strange. But then again, I felt the very same watching The Girl in the Fireplace, for example, where everyone told me this was the best episode ever. And I'm like, I didn't feel it. I wish I felt it, but I don't. I don't know. And that was the case with this episode for many people as well. But for me, this was one of the best episodes. And for people who follow me for like a long time already, you do know that I was wishing for an episode like this for a long, long time. I remember telling people I do want a horror-like episode even before The Idiot's Lantern. That was the very first time I mentioned it. And I didn't really get it until this one. So it was great. It was great. It was everything that I needed, everything that I wanted. And I appreciated so, so much being there, despite other people really not liking it. But I loved it. It almost made it to the first 3, but it really didn't, because there were other great episodes as well. Oh my gosh, Series 6 was full of great episodes. Oh my god. Okay, let's see who's on place number 3. Yeah, this may be a surprise as well. Lots of surprises in this episode ranking, because I do know that many people didn't like this episode either. But I love it. I love it. And the humor in this episode is just the best. I love black humor. So if it comes to black humor, just count me in. I am all in for that. Love it. Also love the character of River. And this was her episode. Everything was about her, and we got to know so much of her. We got to know some stuff about the Doctor as well, and about their relationship. And this was just, for me, kind of a little peek in the series, this episode. I love it. I really, really love it. I know many don't. I do. You may have another ranking. If you want to share your ranking, please do so in the comments. I'd be so glad to read all of yours, because I do want to know what people actually think, what episodes are the best in their eyes. Okay, let's get to number 2. The Impossible Astronaut and the Day of the Moon. This episode was the start to a great series that I loved from start to finish, with the exception of some episodes, as we now know. But I already rewatched them right before I have finished or went into the finale of series 6, because I did want to do like kind of a recap to be able to talk about it when I watch like the very last episode of the series. Those episodes have so much in common. I did want to update my brain so that I didn't know what I was talking about. And I loved this one. Was a great start to a series. And this is also something that I read in the comments. I do not know if it's true though. But a person told me that it might be, person didn't say it is like that, but it might be, or it's strange that we almost always in the previous series had a one episode opening of a series and a 2 or 3-parter ending in the end of the series. But with this one, it was the other way around, because the very first episode and the second one were combined. They were 2-parter, and in the end, we had a 1-part finale. And if you think about it, what was this series about? It was about River. And she travels, not 100%, I already know. You don't have to shout at me again. The opposite direction of the Doctor. Like wibbly wobbly in between, but overall the opposite direction of the Doctor. The other way around. So is this a coincidence that with the number of episodes, it's the other way around as well? I don't know. Something that I read online. I don't know if it's true. It's just something very interesting. While I read it, I was like, oh, right. Oh my gosh, this is actually really cool. I just wanted to mention it because I thought it was really cool while reading it. And maybe you can tell me if you think, or if you ever thought about this, or if you think it's true, or if it's not. I don't know. I just wanted to mention it. And yeah, we're at the start of a series. And now there's the first place. And we're at the end of the series. It's that fast. Start, end. Yay! The Wedding of River Song. And that picture, oh my gosh. I love it, I love it, I love it. That was the best scene of them all. Oh my gosh, so tragic, so deep, so emotional. Just watching the scene, not knowing what was going on like in the rest of the series, not knowing anything about the series, I would be like, oh wow, that's really romantic and tragic because it feels sad. But knowing what is happening, what's really happening while this wedding takes place and while they are kissing, and why he is marrying her in the first place. He is marrying her because he needs to die. He's forcing his death. Just that fact already is like, he's like actually forcing his death onto himself, doing that, sacrificing himself. And he needs her to be in this one with him, but she doesn't want to kill him. So he marries her and kisses her and gives her the love that she wants so badly, so that in the other world, at the same time, she kills him. I'm lost for words. Phenomenal story writing. It's unlike anything I have ever seen before in any other show. The way they did that, the way they built this story is just unbelievably good. It's phenomenal for me. I know some people do not like the series for reasons, but I love it to bits. And it is exactly what I wanted. There was another person writing this in the comments like, you asked for your brain to be fried several times, so here you go. And the person is right, I did. In the previous finales, I was always like, please don't give me war, don't give me shooting, don't give me action. Just give me wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff. Give me something, give me the reason why I'm watching the show. because of the wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff, because this is what makes the show special to other shows. This is it, because it can do stuff like that, because of the opportunity to travel in time. So yes, this is my finale. This is my series. I loved it so much. Okay, and this is my ranking. I really hope you liked it, or if you do not agree, please put your own ranking down in the comments. I do want to know. And also, a quick warning to everyone out there, if people put their own opinions about the series in the comments, it doesn't matter if they liked it or not, as long as they stay respectful. You stay respectful as well. If I see anyone judging other people or calling them things for telling their opinion, you will be blocked. This comment section is a respectful comment section. We accept opinions of any kind if they are respectful. So please feel free to share your opinion in the comments down below of this series. Don't spoil the next one, please. Otherwise, your comment may be blocked as well, or will be blocked, for sure. Off to the second part of the Q&A, I am going to answer more of your questions that you asked. The next one is from a person who doesn't want to be mentioned by name. And here she asks, would you rate it higher than any David Tennant season? I kind of already spoiled my answer for that one. I'm very sorry. But my answer is yes, I would. And not because of the fact that I do like Matt more than David, because that's not the fact. I do like David more than Matt. It's just about the storytelling. It's just about the fact that it's not Daleks, it's not Cyberman, it's not war, it's not shooting, but it's wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff, and that's what I'm here for. And that is the reason why I appreciate this series so much, and I love it more than any of the other series that the David Doctor did. Oh gosh, I feel so bad saying anything bad about David, but it's not about David, it's about the series. So yeah, this was the best one out of all of them. It really was. Thank you so much for your question. The next question is from a person called Crispy Crushums. I really hope I didn't butcher that name. I am going to read your question, although I did really already answer this one, because you were asking, I was wondering what you'd say your top 3 episodes of Series 6 was. And then you say, mine is A Good Man Goes to War, The Impossible Astronaut, and The Doctor's Wife. Oh, The Doctor's Wife is on 3rd place. Yay, so you were one of those people screaming at the screen before, right? Yeah, I can already hear all the voices. I'm sorry I already answered your comment, but the ranking of the episodes is always something that you will find in all of my series wrap up, even for future series. Thank you so much though for telling me about your favorite stories. And A Good Man Goes to War is a great episode to put on 1st place, and The Impossible Astronaut on the 2nd one, a great one as well. So yeah, I did like your episodes or your first top 3 episodes. You have already seen mine. I hope you do like them as well. And thank you so much for your question. You also wrote, I wanted to put the Wedding of Rhea song in there, but I didn't know where to put it. Yeah, I put it on 1st place. Interesting, you didn't know where to put it, so you didn't feel as if it was the very best one out of all of them? Okay, interesting. Thank you so much, Crispy Crushums, for your questions. I'm sorry that I already answered it. Okay, let's get to the next one. From a person without a name. Hi, Nicole. This is a bit off topic, but I would still like to ask if you have seen the Dreamland animated Doctor Who serial. You should watch it if you haven't seen it yet. I think you'll like it a lot. Dreamland animated Doctor Who serial. I haven't seen it, and I have talked about this already in some episodes, I guess, or in another wrap up, but I do not like animated stuff. I'm so sorry. like in general, I don't like animated movies. My boyfriend made me like go to the cinema like 2 weeks ago to watch the movie Mario Brothers, and I just went there because I do like the game Mario Brothers, but I didn't enjoy the movie as much because like I'm not into animated stuff. I already knew that there was like an animated series about Doctor Who, but I'm not into that. I don't want to say I'm not gonna watch it like someday in the future, but at the moment I don't think so. I'm sorry. But thank you so much for your question anyway. Okay, off to the next one. This one is from Stephen Males. This was an unusual series because it was broadcast in 2 parts, separated by several months. Wow, you guys, I can't even imagine having to wait several months until the story continues. Would have driven me crazy. I mean, I am so blessed that I'm able to watch it back to back, week after week after week, without any interruptions. Because having to wait, oh my gosh, several months. Why did they do that to you? That's just cruel. Okay, let's continue. So it had 2 finales: A Good Man Goes to War for part 1 and The Wedding of Riversong for part 2. Which do you think worked best? Hashtag it's okay. That's not an easy question to answer, to be honest. Both episodes had many things in common. For one, they were very complicated. 2, they developed the story arc very much. But both of them didn't conclude the story arc, which is interesting. Not even a finale did conclude the story arc. Doesn't feel as if it's over. Like the silent stuff and all that. And the question, Doctor Who? When I have to talk about that one when we get into series 7, I do remember. So they had a lot in common. And both of them felt like a finale episode. Like A Good Man Goes to War didn't feel less like a finale episode than the wedding one did. Both felt equal to me in terms of feeling like a finale. But as you have seen in my rating of the episodes, I did like the wedding episode more than The Good Man Goes to War. And probably because of the timey-wimey stuff in the wedding episode and the war stuff, or more war-y stuff, in The Good Man Goes to War. Yeah, I think that's it. I hope this answers your question. Thank you so much, Stephen. And off to the last question that I got from Almighty CRJ. What was the name of the German airing of Let's Kill Hitler? You mentioned that was different from the UK, US in the IMDb section, but I couldn't find the other name. Hashtag it's okay. So, here we are. This is the episode. This is the Hitler episode. For all of you who do not know German, here you can see it, Hitler, and you can already see like the thumbnail. And the German title, if I translate it to English, says Against the Time. This could mean anything. It's not like spoilery at all. And the English one really is. So yeah, it's not as spoilery because Against the Time, in a series where you travel with a Time Lord, it could mean literally anything. And it doesn't include Hitler in the title. I think that's the main reason why they changed it in the first place. I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much, Almighty CRJ, for asking me the question. Apart from those questions that we answered, I did get another one, but it wasn't very clear to me what that question meant, so I asked another question to that person, but it didn't get a reply by now. If you will write a reply to me, I will answer you like in the comment section down below, but I'm sorry I can't do it in this video because I have to film this video this week. We're already finished on Patreon with this series. So yeah, next week it's going to be series 7 already. Well, maybe it's going to be one special episode before we get into series 7. I don't know how I will continue with all of this because it gets a little complicated from this point on. But you will get your Doctor Who stuff, that's for sure. Even if we do not start with the very first episode next week, maybe I do start with the first episode on Patreon so that we are even one more week in advance. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'll take care of it. So, thank you so much for everyone who participated and who wrote a question. And we will have a look at the channel and what is going on behind the scenes for everyone who wants to know. This could be very interesting for some of you, so I think I want to share this with you. Here you can see the channel analytics, and you can see how many people watched my videos in the last 28 days, which is 17,000. What even is this number? Like, what? Think about 17,000 people. Those aren't really 17,000 people, but 17,000 videos that are being clicked on. But that's just, wow, that's just so, I don't know, it's impossible for me to comprehend those numbers, like, at all. Also, this is how much time people have spent, how many hours they have spent in the last 28 days watching my videos. 2,800 hours of people watching my footage. It's just those numbers, I don't even know. This number, 33, are new subscribers to my channel. It's 33, the number went down a bit. It's always like, you can see it over here every Saturday, or there are some new people, and then during the week there's nothing really happening, and sometimes people are even going away, which is normal on the internet, yeah. And I also earn an astounding amount of €2.65. Which is, wow, oh my gosh, I want to buy a house next year with all that money. Yeah, just so you know, because I do not have commercials on, like, on 99% of my videos. For this video, they will be on, but as promised, when I started this channel, there will never be commercials that I put in the video. Sometimes YouTube does this on their own, like, they're like, oh, this is a video that contains this and this content, so we will put commercials in there. People have to watch them, but you do not get anything. BBC stuff, for example, or almost all of the time, BBC claims the copyright and they earn the money with my videos. So yeah, but since they made the original videos, it's alright with me, because if it wasn't for them, I couldn't do the Doctor Who reaction, so it's alright. Just so you know, every time there's a commercial in the middle of a video, or in front of a video, or in the end of a video, it wasn't me. Because my commercials are just at the side of the screen. They're above the recommended videos. Sometimes in videos like this one, for example, there might be a little commercial picture on the right. If you do not play the video on full screen, you might see it. And that's all I'm doing. I will never put, like, commercial breaks in the midst of the videos. So yeah, I'm not earning a lot of money with that. And those €2.65 are not even from the commercials. They are from people who support me, who are, like, super fans on the channel. Which, thank you very, very much. This is still before the episode actually airs on YouTube. I'm like filming this before the episode airs on YouTube, where I'm talking about this. So 2 people already found it without me even mentioning it once. Which, thank you so much. This is because of you. And over here we can see at the moment my channel has 1,222, what a nice number, subscribers, which is so cool. Also, here are the most successful videos in the last 28 days. There is A Good Man Goes to War with 2,500 people watching it. Wow. the Almost People, and then what is this? The actual episode 8. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you people. I'm so sorry for this. I already forgot that. I'm so sorry. I put the thumbnail, I put the title of the correct episode, and I uploaded the wrong video, the video from the week before, and all the comments. I was like not at home when this happened. I was outside actually, and I got an email. I got 2 emails from my moderator and one from another Patreon of mine who were like, you did something on YouTube. You have to look this up. Something went wrong. Then I turned on my computer and I got this message from Discord from my mod as well, where he's like, I sent you an email. Something happened. Go to YouTube. I'm like, oh my gosh, no. I didn't really do that. How did that happen? But that week, I was like sick throughout the whole week. Like, not sick, I have to stay in bed sick, but sick in terms of I'm not doing well. And then YouTube did this like copyright stuff, and I had to re-upload and re-edit the same episode 100 times. And somewhere on the way, I got those episodes mixed up. I don't know what happened, and this was the result. So yeah, that was the thing that happened. So I'm glad it's now one of the most liked episodes. That's cool. How many impressions YouTube makes. This is when YouTube tells people, hey, here's a cool video you might watch 288,000 times. Can you even imagine? Oh my gosh, 22% more than the last 28 days. I do not know why it's 22% more. I can only imagine that maybe it's because I did like re-upload older episodes as well, and I didn't only upload on Saturday like I usually do, and YouTube's like, oh, you're uploading more, so we can recommend your videos more. I don't know if it's that, but you do not really get a reason for those numbers. They're just there. And out of 100% who got the video recommended, 4%, like 4.3%, like actually clicked on it and watched the video for around about 9 minutes and 48 seconds, which is really funny. We have channels that you, my subscribers, do like as well. So there is Jay Purview, never heard of him. Brittany Binges, never heard of her. Seska Says, yes, I do know her from The Walking Dead. I've watched her reactions as well. And a Doctor Who channel with 1.7 million subscribers that I can't go to because spoilers. And Afan, never heard of him as well. Those are the channels you like the most. And then here you can see when you're most active. Most of you are active in the pink ones, so in the evenings. At 6 o'clock there is almost no one online. Neither am I. Oh, and this is something interesting as well, because those are subscribers without a subscription that watch my videos. 58% have not subscribed to this channel and are watching my videos, and 41% have actually subscribed to my channel and are watching my videos. So for everyone who hasn't, I'm not doing this with every video like other YouTubers do. I do not like this at all, but in this one special occasion, please consider subscribing if you love the videos. Show me that you love the videos. Support the channel by showing me that you love the videos, if you like, by subscribing to the channel if you want to. Maybe we can get this number a little bit bigger than the other one and not the other way around. Also, most of my viewers still come from the UK. 48%, that's almost half of the subscribers from the UK, and 15.8% from the United States. Then next there is Australia, 2.6%, Germany, 1.4%, and France, 1.3%. This is so funny to me. Also, 12% are female and 88% are male. This really hasn't changed from the beginning. It was kind of always like that. But I guess it's because Doctor Who is like more by male people. I don't know. Or maybe it's because I'm a female reactor. I don't know. But it's interesting to me. And also, we do have people under the age of 18 now. For a whole year, we had 0% over here, and now it's 0.4. Not many, but yeah. And most of the people are between 18 and 34. Like it's over 50% if we count this together. It's interesting as well. Also, over 90% are watching without any subtitles, and some are watching with subtitles. And this is another very interesting feature as well that might interest you. This is new to me, and I have to be careful when I look into this, because every time my mod tells me that there is something going on in the Doctor Who universe, I'm not using this one because it's very spoilery, or it might be spoilery. But this is a tool where I can actually watch, and I don't know why YouTube did that, but I can actually see what you guys were like searching for in the last 28 days on YouTube. Look at this. What your viewers were looking for on YouTube. And if I click on it, it says music reaction, Doctor Who 60th anniversary trailer, and Doctor Who 60th anniversary trailer reaction. This is so funny. I do know that there is a 60th anniversary trailer, so this is not a spoiler to me. I was warned that this was out there and I shouldn't look it up because spoilers. But yeah, just seeing that you guys are still watching it. This was like 2 weeks ago that this anniversary trailer aired, if I remember correctly, 1 or 2 weeks, and you're still watching it. That is so funny. So yeah, I don't know why YouTube included that. I just thought you might want to know, because I haven't seen any other reactor mention it, that this is actually possible. That's it. That is my little channel. I hope you liked watching like what is going on behind the scenes. Not much, but just some numbers, some analytics that you might be interested in as well. So thank you so much for participating. We're at the end of the video now, and I hope you had as much fun watching this video as I had making it. And I hope you will have a great rest of the day, of the week, of the month, or of the year. And I will see each and every single one of you out there in the next video. Until then, bye!